Guys, welcome back to the ex-police bike turned NHS blood bike. If you haven't seen the first video, I took the bike for a bit of a test ride and it's got a few issues. Well, quick backstory anyway. I paid £400 for this motorcycle. Well, my father and I did. We went halves on it, so £200 each. We fancied something a little bit different. So we took it out the other day and I got a few problems. So today we're going to see everything wrong with this £400 ex-police bike. There's a few issues, not too many actually, considering this bike has done 104,000 miles. It doesn't ride fantastic. If you haven't seen the first video, check it out. It's done really well. People seem to love this bike, which is great news. So I thought today I'd give you a bit more of an update on what's exactly wrong with this. But if you haven't seen my previous videos, guys, I've got a great series called Trading Up, where basically I start with a £100 motorcycle and I trade my way up to a £10,000 motorcycle. So if you haven't seen that, check it out. So anyway, by the end of today, we should hopefully have this bike up to a certain standard where I can then test ride it again. So in this video, you will see me test ride this bike again to see if we've improved it. But the whole key to this is not to spend too much money. I've had a load of people in the comments say, buy this for it, buy that for it, buy this for it, buy that. Guys, it was a £400 bike. I don't really want to spend £4,000 on it, so we're going to try and get it to a really high degree for as minimal amount of money as possible. But as I'm going through doing little bits and bobs, I'm going to tell you what bits I'll change out and where I will have to spend some money. Anyway, enough rambling, let's get on with some work. Right, I think it'd be rude not to start off with a customary walk around and tell you the issues. Well, one of them is spongy front brakes, which I think the hoses may need changing, but I have seen some really good braided hoses for not a lot of money. So that's one thing, but we will try and bleed them today. The other issue we have is with the clutch. I don't think it's an actual clutch issue. I think it's more it needs bleeding. So we're going to try and bleed that clutch today. Give the brakes a good bleed again. We have tried all this. I mean, as of before I took the bike out, the bike did have a good check around. So I didn't just jump on the bike and ride it. Obviously, we went through everything first of all, but until you've done a test ride, you don't really know. So I've had a couple of people say, oh, you should have tested it out first. Well, there's not really much I can do until I've ridden it, hence why we call them test rides. So we will be doing a second test ride, but yeah, we need to sort those brakes out, sort that clutch out. We don't have any leaks or anything, which is really good, but am I tempting fate by saying that? I don't know. But it's quite a tidy old thing, really. Considering it's done 104,000 miles. As I said in the previous video, the wheels were really in bad condition. So I was able to get a pair of wheels with some decent tyres with the discs on for about, I think, 250 quid, I think they were. Maybe it was a little bit less than that, I can't quite remember, but it's around about 230 to 250 pounds. So they made a real big difference to the aesthetics. It's just, yeah, these annoying little bits that make it a little bit crap to ride, to be honest. So yeah, I think it's time to get on and start with that. Right, let's start with the clutch. We'll take this off here, this little reservoir cap, and we will bleed it. Right, the clutch reservoir top is off, so it does look a little bit manky in there, so we're going to bleed all that, put some new .4 in there, and hopefully the clutch responds a bit better than it has been. Right, you can see the fluid that's come out of the clutch there. Look how bad that is on top there. It come out in gloops. It was disgusting. It's one of the worst we've seen. So hopefully that will improve the clutch action somewhat. Look at this for awful throttle. That's actually got worse. It just seems to stick on now totally. So yeah, it's got to be the grip. That is not safe at all. Or you could call it the poor man's cruise control. Annoyingly, the grip is still sliding up on that grip, so I've got some double-sided tape to go on there, as it was on there previously anyway, so I'm going to change that out, and that should give us a snappy throttle without this spinning around on it. Never a quick job. Sorted. There you go. Proper throttle. Proper throttle. I had to stick 2 of these washers on the end of the bar in there, just so it would move properly, and now we have a beautiful action throttle. That wasn't too bad. Right, onto the brakes. Right, time to take these calipers off because they are sticking quite badly. So we're going to give them a clean backwards and front. We're not going to drag it out. I'll put you on a time lapse so you can see. Right, this piston here seems to be sticking. As you can see, there's quite a bit of crap that's built up around there again, so it looks like it needs another clean. So we're going to give that a clean up, and hopefully it will stop the front from sticking, then we can do the rear. Right, time to bleed it now. The screws on top here are just absolutely well, to be honest, just gave in the heads on them. So yes, it spent ages getting those off, and you have to use a punch in the end, which was really annoying, but it's off now so we can bleed it. Right, I need to add 5 extra horsepower to this old BMW, so what we're going to do is we're going to stick a Bentonupclub sticker on there. Definitely 5 horsepower. It'd be nice if we can get it on a bit straighter than that. Trying to do it with one hand and film isn't ideal. There you go, look at that. 5 extra horsepower and 4 pounds-feet of torque. All for a Bentonupclub sticker. If you want one, let me know. I will be selling them soon. I hope BMW don't send me a cease and desist for covering their BMW badge. Did you ever wonder what the panniers look like inside an ex-police bike? Well, you're about to find out. I don't think this is original police equipment. Someone has just put an old laundry type basket thing and stuck it down to the inside of the top box there. But as you can see, there's quite a bit of space there. I will remove that and put something a little bit more useful there. Inside the panniers here, we have a lighter, which is interesting. And then some wiring that looks a bit of a mess, which we will get inside here. The same again, we have a receipt, what they've been buying. 24 pack of donuts and a copy of Razzle magazine. So yeah, definitely ex-police. So yes, interesting, isn't it? They actually can get a good amount of stuff in there, surprisingly so. Same with the top box here as well. I'm definitely getting rid of that. That is totally useless, but that is how it looks underneath, if you'd ever wondered. Okay, we've spent a couple of hours on it. As you can see, mess everywhere. Gone through all the brake system. I can't say I'm particularly confident about the front calipers. The pistons in there seem to give me a bit too much movement inside the caliper. So if it doesn't solve the issue, then I think we're going to have to get a set of decent used front calipers. But I'm hoping that will do the job. Hopefully we've sorted the clutch issue out as well. All the nastiness that come out of the clutch was just ridiculous. It was just horrible gulpy stuff. It was just, yeah, horrendous. So that's all been changed as well. Rear pads, discs. Obviously the discs and the pads were changed a little while ago, but it was binding, and now eased it off. So hopefully that will all be fine. Changed the spring on the side stand as well. I'm hoping these little bits and bobs. Oh, also the throttle as well. We had an issue where the throttle before was just sticking on. Hoping now that will solve that issue. Had to change the bolt on the end for that. But it's looking a lot better. So the only thing we can do now is take it for a test ride and see if we have improved the £400 BMW. I've not spent a penny. All I've used is my own brake fluid and obviously tools and stuff that I've already got. So let's see if it's made a difference. Okay, this will be interesting. Second test ride. Oh, the clutch feels better already. I'll tell you what, I could have done with a real police bike a couple of days ago, because somebody decided to steal my van, which is very upsetting to say the least. I've had the van for about 5 years. It had all my bike ramps in the back. Lucky that's all it had in there, was my straps and my ramps. But yes, someone stole my full Transit, registration number Alpha Sierra 200 Whiskey. So if anybody does ever see that about in the London area or Croydon area, it's probably in pieces by now. I'm utterly gutted, to say the least. So I am looking for a new van or a pickup truck, but a single cab 2-wheel drive pickup truck. So if anybody is selling one at all in the local London, Surrey, Kent area, then please let me know on this email address. It's yes, you can't seem to have anything, can you? It's not the first time I've had a van stolen. I had one stolen about 7 years ago, and I had a VFR 800 and a Bandit 1200 in the back. But there you go. Anyway, little mini rant over. Let's talk about the bike. It feels a lot better, I can tell you that already. I wanted to actually check the front tyre pressure, but I forgot to because I was too busy, because the police had actually knocked on the door, believe it or not. They were actively out knocking on doors, which was incredible. But I tell you what, this feels so much better. So much better. The clutch feels, insanely better. I always worry on this corner here that someone's going to come and be a bit of a silly thing. I tell you what, it is so much better. The brakes feel better as well. The throttle feels a million times better. Everything about it feels better. But let's not talk too soon. We have done about a mile so far, so let's not get carried away, shall we? I'm off to get my hair cut, so at least we've got a valid reason to be out on the bike in this awful weather. That screen offers a lot of protection. Oh, it feels... it is a different motorcycle. That throttle now is doing exactly what a throttle should do. It's not sticking on or any of that horribleness. I tell you what, for the sake of a couple of hours spent, it has been a worthwhile investment. All I've really, money-wise, spent is obviously the wheels and the tyres that come with the bike. Obviously I had the brake fluid and stuff anyway. I mean, I'm not going to go, oh, I spent 40 pence on brake fluid. I got 5 litres of it that I got for X amount, so yeah, I can't really say I've spent anything on it. I'm just, that clutch, it's ridiculous, isn't it? Little things like that have just changed how this bike feels. What, for £400? I think I will change the hoses. It has actually got braided hoses on there at the moment, but they do look rather old, but I'm sure they probably are fine. But I think a full brake overhaul anyway, just because, would benefit this bike massively. But I tell you what, the difference already is the brakes aren't binding either, as they were previously. I know it's a cliche, but it's a totally different motorcycle. It really is. It's an absolute joy to ride now, where before it was a little bit hellish, to be honest. I think I can feel a slightest slight of binding still, but I'm hoping with a bit more use that's going to free up a little bit. But I think we could really do with overhauling the brakes. But let me know in the comments, guys, what you would like to see me do with this ex-police bike come blood bike. What should I do to it? What bit should I add? Which bit should I take away? What bit should I overhaul? I'd be really interested to hear from you guys, because we've got a lot of very informed people as my subscriber base. So yeah, it's often you guys will say something in the comments, I go, oh, actually that makes a lot of sense. So pleased. I mean, what's fantastic about this bike is, right, it owes us, well, it owes my dad and I 200 quid each. It's wet out today, it's a little bit horrible on the roads. Are you going to worry about a bike that you spent 400 quid on? You know, that's done 104,000 miles. No, you're still going to look after it just as much as you would any other bike, but you'd actually find yourself using it more, because you're not worried about, you know, getting it dirty, or, you know, not that you get salt off the roads at this time of year, but just, you know, using the bike and not worrying about, you know, wear and tear. What people do seem to take a lot of notice of the Battenberg on there as well. I'm not trying to impersonate being a policeman or anything, but I think it probably does make you a lot more visible on the road than any other bike. So there are major plus points. So let's be honest, an ex-police bike is going to have the kitchen sink thrown at it. So yeah, people are thinking, the fuzz have turned up, the filth, 5-0, po-po. tell you what else is doing there now though. When I turn it on full lock, the throttle cable is getting a little bit stuck. Actually, we'll just move it down there. I'm not sure if that's a proper space. Yeah, the throttle cable, so that's something else I need to sort out. The throttle cable is sticking a little bit. That is an easy job to sort out though. Let's have a look at it with the lights on. There you go, look at that. Can't moan, can you? Anyway, that's been an over-roaring success. I'm so pleased. Let me know in the comments what you think about my £400 BMW R1200. And please guys, like and subscribe. I'm trying to get to that 5,000 mark. Thanks guys, I'll see you in the next one.